Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, we're cooking. For today's video, I've decided to compete against Tasty in who can make the best pasta dish for students. I've chosen pasta because it's the main dish for students. It's super easy to cook, it's super cheap, and it's very fast. So I've chosen spring pasta because it's something that I usually eat and I find that it's very easy to cook. So we're going to be competing based off of taste, of how cheap or expensive the dish was, and how long it took to make it. My goal for this video is to see how I can make my dishes better, how I can make an easy student recipe with the help of a recipe from Tasty, which I think, although they seem quite easy or they're marketed as very easy recipes, tend not to be or have a lot of ingredients. So I'm interested to see how what I would usually cook compares to what they're suggesting. So it's not really a competition as much as what I can take from them and maybe some things that are better in my dish. So let's get to cooking. So I've decided to start with the Tasty recipe because it seems like it's going to take a bit more time. However, it is a one-pot recipe, which I think is great because that means you only have to clean one thing, and there's nothing worse than having to clean more than one thing. So this is all the ingredients you need for the Tasty recipe. I've decided to go with whole wheat pasta just because it's the one that I usually buy. Then I have some cream. I bought the 50% less fat one. I usually don't have dairy, so that's quite a big thing. Broccoli, some chili flakes, onion, garlic, some sliced mushrooms. Well, I buy them sliced because I think slicing mushrooms is an extra task. Then some veggie stock and some cheese. So in general, I will tell you the exact prices afterwards, but this is definitely a bit more expensive and it has more ingredients than the version that I would do. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is set the water to boil, and I just put the veggie stock in and I'm just waiting for it to dissolve in the water before I start adding in the vegetables and the pasta. Now that my veggie stock has dissolved, the water's boiling, I'm just gonna add in the pasta. I've never cooked so much pasta at a time in my life. Pasta is a thing that I kind of never prep in advance. So I don't know, it doesn't seem like there's gonna be that much water for this much pasta. So I'm kind of worried at the moment, but I mean, I'm following the recipe, so everything should be fine. But let's see. Here's all the pasta going in. I'm gonna add in the broccoli next. I chopped it up a little bit so you don't eat a whole tree. Next in goes the mushroom. I've never cooked mushroom this way, so I'm kind of curious to see how it does. Alright, last but not least, here goes the onions and the garlic. The onion is making me cry a lot. I'm just gonna add some chili flakes and then some salt and pepper. So now we just have to wait for 10 minutes, let that cook, let everything sit. And I just wanted to say I didn't include pepper, salt, olive oil, any of those ingredients in the shopping list or in the final price of the dish, just because it's the kind of thing that everyone has at home and it's the kind of thing that you use daily. So I didn't feel like it was necessary to include it. Now that the 10 minutes have passed, I'm just gonna go ahead and add the heavy cream and the cheese. For exact instructions, I'm just gonna link their video down below and you'll see exactly how many ounces, grams, cups. Because I work in grams, I had to translate everything to that because it's in cups. So I'll just link the video down below so it's easier for everyone. This is what it looks like after adding the cheese and the cream. And it's looking pretty good. I think it's been already 3 minutes. So this is kind of this dish all done and ready. So this is our first dish, all complete. This is Tasty's recipe. It looks amazing. It looks really, really good. I can't wait to eat it. But first, let's cook mine. Alright, we're back to square one. We're boiling some water. This time, it doesn't really matter how much water you boil because we're going to drain the pasta anyways, which I think is an advantage in some ways because it's a less precise recipe. In this case, however, we're also going to need a frying pan for our veggies. So water is boiling already, as you can see. I'm just gonna add my pasta now. I'm gonna add 100 grams instead of 290 like I did in the previous recipe, just because I don't want to eat pasta for the rest of my life. I've been editing the video for 3 days now and I still have pasta in my fridge. Now that we have 5 minutes left on our pasta, we can add in the broccoli so it cooks with it. I think this is the best step for cooking broccoli because that way you really don't need to do anything. So while our pasta is boiling and cooking over there, we're going to start cooking veggies over here, which is going to involve putting a little bit of olive oil. Now that my oil seems to have heated up a little bit, it's fine to put all the veggies in, and I'm just gonna add them all together. So here I have courgette, aubergine, and the garlic, and I'm just gonna add everything together at the same time. So my pasta just finished cooking. I'm gonna drain that and then I'm gonna add it to my vegetables, just so it gets all the flavor from the garlic, from the veggies cooking, and to give it like a nice end touch. As I said, I just added my pasta with my veggies just for a tiny bit. I set aside some of it because there was just too much, which is good because I'm gonna have leftovers for next time. My finishing touches, I added a little bit of olive oil to the dish so it's not too dry, and I'm just gonna add now a little bit of cheese to top it off. So here's my dish. It looks pretty good. Cheese is melting, a little set for a little bit, cleaned up behind me, and now all we have to do is do the taste test and final thoughts on both recipes. So let's do it. Alright, here I have both dishes. This is Tasty's, this is my dish. They both look pretty good. This one, because the cheese is vegan, then it's not going to melt as well. So this one definitely looks more appealing right now. I do want to say before anything is that this one definitely took less time to make. And this might be because I've made it a bunch of times. It's really easy for me to do it. But I feel like it's also because this one you kind of had to wait for the water to evaporate a little bit. So let's start with the tasty one. Okay, I'm gonna get a bite, try to get a bit of everything. Broccoli is always the hardest to get, although it's a bit everywhere. Oh, that's really good. It surprisingly tastes a lot like broccoli. Like, I know this one won't, but I think it's because if you add it at the really beginning, then it kind of dissolves and it gives everything a very broccoli taste. So if that's your jam, then this might be like your perfect dish. It's also very creamy, it's more heavy, but I like it. I mean, it's pretty good. Let's get a first taste into mine, although I've tried it before a bunch of times, so it's gonna be good for my taste. No surprise. It's really, really good. I mean, it's one of my favorite dishes, so I'm very biased towards it. I really like it. I love broccoli, I love aubergine, I love courgette. Those are like my top 3 vegetables, so obviously like I love them so much. It's just... So in terms of comparisons, let's start with how expensive it was actually. So in terms of price, this one is a little bit more expensive. It's about £1.50 for each meal, while this one is only £1. I mean, it's not a huge difference, but at the end of the day, I mean, you do notice it. In terms of taste, I mean, I enjoy both of them a lot. I think this one's more of a special dish that I wouldn't make every single day. And this one is kind of like an easy, quick fix for when you're hungry. What I would take from this dish and add it to mine is definitely the red chili flakes. I think that's a very good addition. That wasn't too expensive. I think it was 75p for the whole bottle. So I think that's definitely worth it, and I will add it to this one. As some final thoughts, I thought both dishes were amazing. I'm obviously biased towards mine because it's one of my favorite dishes, but I do recognize that the other one is very good for a certain mood when you're like, I really want really comfort food, and saucy pasta is just a perfect example for students of what you can do when you're feeling like you want more of like your mom cooking for you. And I definitely got that feeling, and I do appreciate some of the fact like it's all in one pot, and the red chili flakes I will definitely be adding to my pasta from now on. But I do think that mine is easier to clean, it's cheaper, and it's faster on a day-to-day basis, especially for a student. Yeah, that's it for today's video. If you like it, be sure to subscribe down below, to like this video, and I'll see you guys next week on Sunday. See ya, bye!